What is up, world? Welcome back, Charge the Game podcast, and my thoughts on Joy Taylor getting canned. Well, I think it's about time. I'm sure Jason Whitlock is going to have a field day with this one. Joy Taylor, aka Peanut Butter Skin with the big cans. You guys probably have heard the news. Fox is getting ahead of ESPN, and I'm going to tell you why this is beneficial to Fox Sports. As you guys see here, Joy Taylor out. 3 shows canceled at FS1 amid yet another daytime lineup shakeup per report. Now it says, guys, that Joy Taylor is out at Fox Sports, and so is her show Speak, along with 2 other programs in the FS1 weekday lineup. Breakfast Ball and The Facility are on the chopping block, according to The Athletic, with Taylor's dramatic few months at the network accumulating in her exit. As you guys know, I made a few videos on this. The 38-year-old was named in one of the 2 lawsuits against former Fox Sports programming executive Charlie Dixon, who was fired from the network in April. In the suit that named Taylor, Nashin Faraji, a makeup artist, accused Dixon of sexual battery and alleged that Joy Taylor told Faraji to get over it. Taylor denied the allegations, but she did spend 2 weeks off the air in late February and early March. Her contract with Fox was set to expire sometime this summer. It says here, guys, that Breakfast Ball featured Craig Carlton, Mark Sherrill, and Danny Parkins, while The Facility had 4 former NFL players, Emmanuel Acho, Chase Daniel, James Jones, and LaShawn McCoy, as part of the cast. All 3 shows were created under Dixon. And The Athletic reported low ratings as the reason for the cancellations. First off, I'm going to say bravo, Fox Sports. The shit, guys, the shit has become unwatchable. These networks, I mean, I get it. You know, we had a time in period where DEI was a real thing. And I know you guys probably don't want to hear that coming from a brother. But let's be honest. The shit was whack. The shit was too much. Okay? I don't care if you were an athlete. I don't care if you never covered the sport. There were a lot of things working against these networks. And there are a lot of things working against ESPN. And if ESPN is smart, I've been telling you guys they need to go through and clean house. You got ex-athletes out there, iced out chains on, big ass diamond chains on. What are we doing here? I mean, are we rappers? Are we athletes? Are we analysts? What are we? Right now, if I'm being honest, guys, it was too much of a relaxed culture. And what do I mean by that? You got people who like literally talk like they're in a barbershop on all of these shows, right? So it doesn't really come off as like as a professional looking sports program. I mean, Fox Sports, back in the day, a few years ago, they had an outstanding lineup. They had The Herd, they had Undisputed, they had First Thing First. The best thing that they did was keep First Thing First and Colin Cowherd. Those are the main 2 shows that I see actually get traction. I think that the TV personalities of Kevin Wiles, Chris Broussard, and Nick Wright are dynamic. I think that Colin Cowherd, who is obviously the captain of the Fox network, he's leading in ratings. He does a fantastic job. He has a great broadcasting voice. Well, when I look at shows like Speak, who has someone in Joy Taylor who literally, quote unquote, slept her way to the top, arrogant personality, I knew that she wouldn't go far when she left The Herd with Colin Cowherd. I think that she should have stayed there. She has seemed to be more level-headed. I think when she got the bag, she got more money. She started to feel herself. And this explains why she probably was on all of those. You know, she got the podcast. She's always talking about sex. Go figure, right? Always talking about men, using crazy profanity. And then you have Keyshawn Johnson, Paul Pierce. Don't get me wrong. I love Paul Pierce. I think that he was actually the most logical person on the show. Keyshawn Johnson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about half of the time. Now think about this, guys. All 3 of them now have separate podcasts because I believe, well, we know that KG and Paul Pierce always had theirs, but we see the show that Paul Pierce has now that is blowing up on YouTube. And it's kind of like this After Dark thing, right? I forget the name of it, but he's doing fantastic. Joy Taylor has a podcast. Keyshawn Johnson has a podcast. I think that they all knew what was coming, so they started to prepare themselves. As far as The Breakfast Ball with Craig Carlton. No one really. I don't know what time does it come on. I, I don't know if people actually watch that, right? And then you have the facility, Emmanuel Acho, the whole lineup. I like James Jones a lot, but the whole LaShawn McCoy, I didn't like that. Uh, Chase Daniels, I just feel like they were trying too hard to be hip, to be relevant. And that's what's happening in sports. And on top of that, guys, you have all of these people who are supposed to be for sports, but then they have too many other entities going on outside of sports with all of these podcasts. I'm old school. I don't think that if you're an athlete, you should have a podcast. I don't think that if you have a TV show, you should have a podcast outside of that. I think that ESPN needs to do the same thing because I don't want to always see the same people everywhere. Pick a lane and stay in it. It doesn't mean that you can't do other things, but let's take Stephen A. Smith for an example. The guy is everywhere. He's overly saturated his brand at this point. You don't know what to believe that comes out of his mouth because he's an actor. So how do we know what's real and what's not? It's getting to the point where he doesn't even do his homework anymore. He just shows up and yells on TV. How that's good for business, I don't know. But somehow, some way, the guy is gold at ESPN. Now, if I'm being honest, I think that Fox Sports allowed Joy Taylor to have a little bit too much power, a little bit too much say-so. She has the worst takes, and you can tell that she puts a lot of her emotion and how she personally feels about topics, people, athletes. She always puts that on display, and guess what? They have no pushback. Paul Pierce, Keyshawn Johnson, they say nothing to her when they know that it logically does not make sense. They just nod their head and just let her keep going and going and going. Joy Taylor, we all know that your brother is a Hall of Famer, which has opened a lot of doors for her. Do not get me wrong, but do we really think it's fair that Shannon Sharpe was off of the air immediately for all of his accusations and obviously, the audios of, him saying what he was going to do to a person? A lot of people felt a certain way that Joy Taylor still had her job because that in totality is just not right. What happened to Shannon Sharpe is ideally what you would want to see happen to Joy Taylor, because there's no way you fire Charlie Dixon, who was the person in this lawsuit, but Joy Taylor is able to, retain her job. I also feel like Joy Taylor, money made her more of what she already was. She's super arrogant, right? She's super toxic. She obviously cheated on her spouse with Emmanuel Acho. They had dealings. And at this point, Joy Taylor's brand is just not good anymore. I mean, like, I get it. People want to, look at those big cans of hers and that peanut butter skin, as my boy Jason Whitlock says. But at the end of the day, Joy Taylor has become a nuisance, man. Like, a lot of these shows, people don't tune in because people don't like their personalities. Emmanuel Acho, he single-handedly ruins the TV show. He uses all these big words. He doesn't pause to take a breath. I mean, he spits out 1,000 words every 30 seconds. He's just annoying. Okay. I mean, you guys, let me know how y'all feel in the comment section. You guys probably liked these shows, but if I'm being honest, out of all of the shows, I'm glad that Speak got canceled immediately. Seriously, I was wondering what the hell was taking Fox so long. I mean, seriously, guys, most people really do just value first thing first and call a coward. But you have so many other people saying interesting things. You got these ex-athletes with podcasts now, which is taking a huge bite of their ratings. Everything has become overly saturated. Even the very thing I'm doing now, just covering sports reporting, it's a side hustle for me, don't get me wrong. But you have so many people. You got Shaq, you got, Kendrick Perkins, you got Gilbert Arenas, you got Carmelo Anthony, you got even LeBron James, mind the game. You got so many people who want to hear what, big time athletes have to say that is taken away from these regular, sports programming, and that's just what it is. So, I'm glad personally that Fox is doing what they have to do, that they are starting over, that they are coming to their common sense and getting rid of a lot of these shows that literally are giving them no traction, and they're dealing out all these huge contracts and they are not seeing their return on investments. And again, guys, what good is it to pay money to, any of these people that are going to not obviously produce? And then you have someone like Joy Taylor who's caught in a sex scandal. I mean, what are we doing? At the end of the day, business is business. And if business is not being executed, you have to do what's best. Now, guys, before we get out of here, it does state Taylor has worked at the network for nearly a decade, starting as an anchor for Undisputed and The Herd before transitioning to an analyst role on Speak in 2021. In January, Taylor was a centerpiece of a lawsuit that alleged she contributed to a hostile work environment and used intimate relationships with men at the company to rise to new jobs. Boy, nothing is new under the sun, man. Previous reports indicated Taylor's contract was up this summer and she denied comment her future with Fox Sports in a recent interview on The Breakfast Club. Since the lawsuit was filed, Taylor hired outside counsel and began negotiating a settlement separate from Fox. The network fired longtime content head Charlie Dixon in April after he was also named in that lawsuit, and another from former host Julie Stewart Binks, which alleged that Dixon her. So it seems like since Dixon was the main character in all of this, any show tied to him, they're pretty much getting rid of. I, for one, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm happy that Joy Taylor is just off of TV right now. She's annoying to me. Okay. You guys may like her. You guys may like to look at her. That's your opinion. You're entitled to that. But I'm just tired of her. Right. And I think that ESPN should do the same fucking thing. I think that they should get rid of all of these pointless people who have really no sense of sports, really no personality. They're just up there because of, politics, DEI, or what they're doing behind closed doors. So you guys let me know what y'all think, man. Drop those comments in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button if you have not. Also, guys, hit the like, share, and notification bell for more future content. Peace.